Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Stalingrad, yeah. Surprise, surprise. Well, I've been playing the Stalingrad a lot. Got it the other day. Spent 2 million green XP on it, right? Might as well play the guy once in a while. And by the way, it's a pretty fun ship. One of the there's a handful of really fun ships out there. You know, you got your Pablo Emilio, you got your Warspite, you got your Königsberg. Yeah, everyone's got their own handful of favorites. Stalingrad quickly climbing the ladder. Now, I already was beginning to like the Riga quite a bit. Similar playstyle. It's kind of the Riga on steroids here. 3 radars on this build. I think it's because of the commander build. We get an extra consumable. The other option would probably be reload, which wouldn't be a bad option either, but getting a 3rd radar, well, we'll see it pay off later in this game. And so can't turn down a extra radar, especially with this delightful guy we got in slot 2. It's the one that gives you the twist and track radio locator there. It's also, I think it's expanding the length of the radar. So we're already boosting the radar. Now we're getting an extra one. And, it's working out pretty well so far. The beauty of this delightful guy is the slot 4 boosts the actually quite a bit. Because the Stalingrad with a regular commander gets a little crazy. But this is about as accurate as you can get it. So how do we play the Stalingrad? Kind of like Russian battleships. If we get shot directly straight on in the nose, probably not that big of a deal. If you get shot in the sides, you're dead automatically, right? Shima, oh, he got on the base. We know our radar range is further than the length of the base in terms of how far away the further edge was. Go ahead and pop the radar. Start firing his guns, or start firing our guns. We're getting some shots with the team. Now I'm saying to myself, I better get past this island here, because if he's just sitting there, he's probably launching the torps. He's thinking, okay, good chance I'm going to die. I'm going to try and get out of there. But if I do go down, I want to blast the guy who got me with the torpedoes. And in this case, that would be me. And there's the expected salvo. He might have launched them at all the guys that were over there. We got a few ships playing A tight. Of course, we got our own Shima, who just squirted out the western side of the cap. Nevertheless, good damage, about 8,000, just over 8,000 on him. If we're playing this spot, it's a good spot, but you do have to pay close attention to what's going on in B. Alaska already took a pretty nasty whack. He's coming around, trying to angle against him. We do not want to be 45 degrees fighting something like an Alaska, battleship, anything with killer guns. We need to be steeply angled. We don't want to be giving them the 45-degree angle typically necessary for them to get the chance to bounce. We want an automatic bounce, right? In terms of the armor angling. If we're steeply angled to them, they're not going to... It's always going to ricochet unless it overmatches, okay? Complicated beyond the scope of this. We've covered it a million times. But hopefully you understand what we're talking about there. Point directly at what's shooting at you. Limit what's shooting at you to 1. That's kind of the main thing here. Twist and track showing us there's the Shimakaze there. I also got a bit of an issue here. This is probably the hardest part of this match for me. There's the Yamato. Now that's a crossfire with the Shima destroyer, who is basically directly to the west of me. So I'm more worried about the Shima torpedoes, but the Yamato shells also quite dangerous. So I'm going to just back up here and let the play develop a little bit. It's too early to go charge into the Yamato, because if we do that, we're probably going to be getting a fistful of torpedoes, and that'll be the end of the game. So backing up here, hoping he already launched. The Shima does reload relatively quickly, and so we're hoping to throw off his aim, because he probably expected us to bail out of there. Okay, that's what it looked like anyways. Shima, there's another Shima down yonder in B, and we're going to try and back up here, contribute some shots. There's the salvos we're once again anticipating. And that's just understanding where the Shima is and what the Shima wants to do, right? He wants to torp us. Where is he trying to do it from? And we have to have a rough idea how often those torps are going to come. So that just comes from experience. Or if you really want to study the reloads of the destroyers, but the problem with that is you can affect the reloads quite a bit with the different commander builds. So memorizing a number and then referencing the game clock might not always be that profitable. Anyway, we know he's on reload now. We also have the blue Shima kind of in the area, screening for torpedoes over there. So we're going to make the move, try and punch out here. Hoping these guys are getting some shots on the Yamato. Looks like he's got a few guys attacking him. We do want the cap too, keep in mind. We do have B, which is excellent. If we get A and B, now we have the flank and the center, which is our ultimate goal in 3-cap domination mode. Taking a lot of damage here, and the Shima torpedoes come in and finish them off. Boom. So now we got the side roughly clear. Decision time. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and fire the radar again. Should have waited till the guns were ready to fire, but I was Curious as to where he was, and I was hoping our team would blast him because we still got 3 ships over. But I was, do we pursue him potentially for the rest of the game, or do we move into the other parts of the map and defend B? And that's what we're going to elect to do. He does get us one torpedo there. Hurts, definitely, but that's the first major damage we've taken. And we get a little bit, about 1,000 in return there. So can we chase him? Can we catch him? Maybe, maybe not. There's a good chance we die torping that. And even if we don't die, he could kite us all the way to the top left corner of the map for the rest of the match, right? That'll tie up the destroyer, yes, and the destroyer is a key component to them turning the game around because they need to score on A and B. So you can make the case for that play there. But I figure, okay, we're going to have more impact guarding B. And by the way, we've had a 2-cap advantage for a substantial part of the game. It's nearly halfway, so even if they get a 2-cap to 0 advantage at some point from their perspective, if we've had control for longer than half the game, well, they're not going to be able to win on score, okay? So I'm not that concerned about losing A. If we do, we'll try and defend B, try and wreck the side, and then if the Shima's still causing problems, we'll turn around and try and hit him with that final radar later and see what we can do. So those are kind of the decisions. If we're going to leave an area which is still technically under attack, which A is, you have to justify that in your mind, come up with a reason why you want to do that, and weigh the options, okay? So don't just sail around, oh, here's what my team looks like they're going there next. Sure, if you're a newer player, you don't have the experience necessarily to have a good grasp on what you should be doing, but try and study that, and that's what we try and focus on a lot in these videos. But just when you're trying to focus on learning more from your own perspective, from your own experience, Minotaur, come on. Try and work on the decision making. That's the thing that separates really good players to good players from your average potato that we're yelling at in our living rooms to, come on, make a better decision. Anyway, Minotaur, he's obviously taking a whack there, trying to angle, he's trying to shoot. This is a good example of the power of the Russian guns at range versus the lack of power of these high floaty British light cruiser, American light cruiser guns at range. His time to target, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds. My time to target, 2, 3, 4 seconds, right? My guns fire a lot faster, or the projectiles fire a lot faster, flatter angles, much easier to aim. So I can kind of bob and weave there, just keep shooting at him. He's going to take a lot of damage. If he hits us, yeah, Minotaur pumps out the damage. But the trade-off is, at range, it's very hard to hit stuff, especially if they're actively dodging. So not afraid of that fight whatsoever. We still got the Shima on the loose now. Twist and Track is suggesting there. And I'm figuring he's probably way off in the distance, about as far as he can be. He wants to be at max torp range to the closest battleship. I don't know if he knows he's got our Shima chasing him down there or not. But that's where we suspect that he is anyways. And we want to broadcast Twist and Track radio locator information to the team when it's relevant, okay? Teammates that understand, okay, usually it's a destroyer that would be doing it. If I get a destroyer pinging the map, I'm usually assuming they're pinging unspotted destroyers. But even if you see a cruiser, American cruiser, Soviet cruiser, potentially do have radio locators on those builds as well. So recognize what they're trying to tell you. Conqueror is trying to angle against a bunch of stuff. We're trying to move eastward to continue to access the broadsides. If he looks relatively steeply angled, we're going to aim up on the ship, of course. If he looks like he's giving us a little bit more flat broadside, might aim down, try and hit the citadel, or at least a big, scoring blow on the body of the ship. See what we can get. But we want to be testing the AP out. There's a pair of Conquerors. Now, they could definitely get into an infinite health situation if they get close enough. But there's the Shima. He's a lot closer than I actually thought he was going to be. We did pop the radar a moment ago, suspecting that we would want to check out where he is. Because I do want to turn over there to potentially deal with these guys. Or at least I wanted to know, is there torpedoes in here? Because we do have to, you see how we're pointing towards the Shima torpedo, a potential launch angle. We have to do that. We got to allow those torps, whether they actually exist or not, enough time to get to us so that we could potentially dodge them. Because if we take 2 Shima torpedoes, we're automatically going to die. If we take 2 shots from a Conqueror, maybe we die, maybe we don't. It's less certain. Still a pretty decent chance that we wouldn't survive that if we got hit in the side from a Conqueror, especially if he's got AP loaded. But Shimakaze, we know it. So now that we've said, okay, the torps would be here by now, now we go back to angling directly at these targets. And this is what we're talking about. And I'm going to be experimenting here, trying to knock these guns. They are angled, and if you see me play in these close quarter brawls a lot of times, depending on which type of gun I have, turning them 45 degrees in between salvos is a good play, because if they got a flat front and the enemy ship shoots them directly, you can knock them out pretty easily. Here we're going for the ram, though. He's got plenty more health than us. Not even sure if we'll survive this or not, or if he would die or not, but it would be a vicious shot. But he does go down there anyway. So that's a look at the Stalingrad for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming for you all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.